Alright guys, hope you're all doing okay. Today's video is on cutting, what is cutting, what you should do, and the common mistakes that are made. So, in order to lose body fat, that golden target, people normally will go about it via, well, the wrong way. So they will do really intense or severe diets that in the short term, yeah, they will work, you will lose body fat. But the longer you try and sustain that for, you will crash your metabolism, and therefore the weight loss will just taper off and you'll get stuck. So where do you go from there? Well, there's one way to lose fat, first of all, and that is a calorie deficit. So in terms of the deficit, how big should it be? Research would dictate, and my experience would dictate, the smaller the deficit, the more you can sustain it and the better it will be for your health and overall well-being and wellness. So I like to go between 200 calories to 300 calories. I think any more becomes a bit excessive and you'll feel a bit weaker and lose some more muscle mass. So, I mean, play around, find your, golden point and stick to it really. As a calorie deficit, that is where you'll consume less calories than your body naturally expends or naturally burns. So let's say each day my body naturally burns 2,500 calories. If I eat below that point or consume below that point, I will lose fat. Now, when you're cutting, you need to factor in a few different things. So, number one, factor in your calorie intake or your daily calorie intake. After that point, you need to make sure you're factoring in and hitting your macronutrient split, so your carbs, fats, and proteins. Now, for most people, well, if you're kind of trained trying to put on size, you want to be prioritizing your protein. So I'd recommend 1 gram per pound of body weight. Carbs and fats can vary, it depends on each person. For me, when I'm training, I prefer higher carb days. When I'm not training, I'll go for a higher fat day. But it really depends. So we now know that you need to be in a deficit to lose fat. We now know that you need to be eating your protein to retain your muscle. Where do you go from there? Now, a mistake that people make when they either cut or bulk, to be fair, they will increase or decrease the calories too much too fast. Now, in this case, cutting, if you just go from 3,000 calories to, we'll say, 2,000 calories, just for argument's sake, in one day, a 1k drop in one day, you're going to feel absolutely gassed out in the gym. You're going to feel fatigued, tired, lower sex drive, feel absolute shizzle. It's not what you want. So, I would recommend a daily decrease of around 50 to 100 calories. I think maintaining that nice, slow, gradual decrease, you won't feel it too much physically. You won't lose too much muscle mass either, and it will get you gradually to your calorie intake target. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you want to get to 2,000 calories per day. I'm not saying for all these examples, they are just examples. So, yeah, your goal is 2,000 calories per day. You're currently at 2,500. I would drop your calories by 50 each day for 10 days. That is a nice, slow, gradual progression of your calories decreasing. You won't lose any muscle mass by doing that. You will maintain your metabolism. It won't crash. You won't, dive and just go away. It's healthier as well. By doing that as well, you'll therefore be able to sustain that cut for longer and therefore prolong your fat loss period. So we'll keep it simple. Let's say you've been at that 2k limit per day for, we'll say, 8 weeks. But for the past 2 weeks of that, you've not lost any weight. Now, if I was in that position, I'd do one of 3 things. The first thing is look at your physique photos. A lot of the time, you can actually lose fat and gain muscle and either maintain or gain some weight. So remember, your goal here is to lose fat, not weight, all right? So look at your photos of your physique, look at how your body shape is changing. If there's no change at all on the photos or the scales, at that point I would then decrease the calories that are being consumed. However, at 2,000 a day, they're already pretty low, so I would then turn to cardio instead. That is the one tool that you can use to your advantage. Alright guys, I'm out for my daily walk now, getting some steps in, burn some calories. Cardio. A lot of people, when they go on a diet or a cut, they'll cut the calories big time and just do a shit ton of cardio. So maybe at first you might feel really kind of empty and light and you'll lose some fat, brilliant. But after 2 weeks of doing that, you'll be absolutely goosed. You'll be on low calories. Your body can't maintain being in such a big deficit for that long, so you'll crash essentially. So what I do personally is I will drop the calories until I stop seeing progress. So I started my cut at around 2,500 calories. I'm now at, I think, 2,300-ish, give or take. The lowest I'm willing to go to is 2,000. So when I get to that point, so 2,000 calories, I don't see any fat loss, I will then up the cardio. So don't get confused. Cardio is not some fat loss method. It is just a tool that you can use to be in deficit, which will then help you lose fat. So drop the calories to your lowest point you're willing to go. When you stop seeing progress, then up. So now know to lose fat, you must be in a calorie deficit. That is where you consume less calories than your body naturally burns. Brilliant. We know that cardio is a tool you can use to be in a deficit. And we know that you need to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. However, what if you currently don't know how much you're eating or consuming? It's a good question. If you don't currently track your calories, then obviously you can't therefore be in a deficit purposely, because you're just guessing. So what I would do if I was in that situation, which I have been to be fair, I would just spend 2 or 3 weeks tracking calories and assessing my weight change. So I would download an app, MyFitnessPal, anything like that. I would track what I eat, so a normal, days of eating, see what the calories come to, the macros come to, assess my body change via photos each week, assess the weight change via the scales each week. If I'm losing weight or gaining weight, I know I'm in deficit or surplus. From there, you can then maybe get the food a bit cleaner and assess the calories from there. Once you've been through this process, you will now know your calorie and maintenance levels. From there, you can eat in a deficit or a surplus quite easily. Hope that helps. I have kept this very simple, very fast. I thought I'd do that so you can go away and, implement these things straight away. However, if you want more detail, then please just message me on Instagram or on this comment section for the video. Instagram is johnnyjoyce_fitness. So a few take-home points for you guys today. Number 1, to lose fat, you must be in a calorie deficit. You must consume 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to try and retain your muscle mass during this cutting cycle. The more long-term the cut, the better. Short-term cuts are more aggressive, so long-term you can't sustain them, and yeah, it's just not ideal all around. Once you've reached your desired or your lowest, calorie levels that you'll go to, then up the cardio. When you get to your desired weight or physique, then yeah, feel free to stop. Maybe go on a bulk or maintain. There we go. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.